Welcome to Bullish and Beyond. It's Beery the Bull. I'm your AI co-host. Join myself, Brian the MacMan, and JT Knows Things while we dive deep into the world of stocks, crypto, and how to live a bullish life. It's time to get bullish, and there's no better place to start than right here. Let's dive in.
One of these things we just talked about pre-podcast was that now to go to the Strait of Hormuz, you're going to have to pay a toll in crypto. It's not going to hold as long as we'd like. Stocks are actually already trending down from the open. So I'm all
You
green.
want to know why? We're all now seeing how important that trade is. It runs the world.
Hey everyone, welcome back for another amazing episode of Bullish and Beyond, where we are always bullish on stocks, crypto, and life. And what a day to be bullish. We have been in a sea of red the last few weeks with the Iran war, and today is the first day of our 2-week truce. Can you believe it, JT?
I cannot believe it. In fact, I'm not that bullish on the ceasefire, but I am bullish on today. These prices are crazy. My ceiling is green. Bitcoin's up almost 6%.
We are glowing green. Can you see it just coming out of our pores? I mean, it's insane. And like you, I agree. It's not going to hold as long as we'd like. Stocks are actually already trending down from the open. So I'm all green.
You want to know why?
People are selling some of those gains.
Yeah, well, no, possibly, absolutely, because I think the trend is still down, and they're just trimming what they can. But not 42. I got a live feed of credible sources just on a news. What is this on? NBC. Okay, it's on NBC News, so take that with a grain of salt. But their writers are like basically the equivalent of live tweeting mini articles in real time right now. Okay. 42 minutes ago, Pakistan, who is the mediator of this ceasefire, for people that did not know, they are the ones in between Israel, United States, and Iran at the moment. They have confirmed that Israel is still bombing Lebanon, Bahrain.
I did hear that.
And it's
Israel's in a constant war with, Lebanon with the Hezbollah.
Yeah. The prime minister tweeted, "I earnestly and sincerely urge all parties to exercise restraint and respect the ceasefire." Not 4 hours after the ceasefire.
Maybe some of those guys hadn't got the word yet. They're, they have their, sat phone turned off or something like that, and they didn't get the call, missed their iMessage. I'm not sure. But yeah, no, that is crazy. And that is a great reason to take some profits in a day like today when you do have a nice up day. But we're nowhere near back to where we'd like to be on some of these tech stocks, in particular. I mean, some of the biggest names are so undervalued, like NVIDIA, stuff like that. It's insane. Tesla today is actually down. And they just came out with a new update to their self-driving for the car. They're calling it, it used to be 14.2 version. Today's 14.3. They're calling this version Sentient. It's that smart. Insane. That much faster, it said upon reacting. I love full self-driving in Tesla, and I do think that's why they're going to win. But there is some negative in the market right now that the numbers for deliveries were actually down significantly. They had a good amount of cars produced, but the deliveries was down quite a bit. And I think a lot of it, it comes down to not just the consumer not wanting to spend. I think it comes down to the political side of it, that Elon Musk has just made a really bad name for himself in politics around the world, especially in like Europe and stuff where he had such a stronghold before. And he's kind of tanked his deliveries over there, frankly. But China's the bright spot.
Yeah. Well, I think China doesn't care what Elon Musk says, right?
The people there don't care as much, or maybe they don't see it. I know it's so censored there. Maybe they literally don't know.
Yeah. For people that don't understand that comment on Europe, right now, people are legit getting arrested for things they publicly say on social media. That's actually happening. There's over 4,000 arrests being made for this new. This is in England. This is in where there was 2 other countries in the EU. I think France and Germany. Right?
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
So that's starting. And then you have Elon Musk, who bought Twitter and refuses to even answer a letter from any of those countries. Like, he's like, we're not censoring people, period. And that's why I bought Twitter. It's
No.
just going, this
Yeah,
is
he
the
wants
last
to be uncensored.
vestige. Right. But they call it, harmful speech, hate speech. You're inducing suicidal thoughts in people because you're allowing people to tweet whatever. That's how they're trying to protect their constituents by prohibiting them to say
Right.
certain things. Right. So, and he's just holding a bird to all of them. I think this has very little to do with Tesla and a lot to do with that dynamic.
Interesting.
But how can they express it? Twitter doesn't make any money. So, I mean, Tesla, people that feel like, oh, I got my
Well,
feelings hurt on
it's not even
Twitter.
owned by its own company anymore. I mean, X got rolled under XAI, and then XAI got merged with SpaceX not more than like a month ago, and now SpaceX is trying to go public. Have you ever looked into buying a stock pre-IPO that's in a private market?
I have. It's an interesting field. I know a guy that does that, like in a fund where he accesses those
Yeah,
markets. Um, it's really difficult because
so
it's
difficult.
I'll tell you why. You
You have
already
to go bid on
know.
these lots now. It's like a bidding thing on the consumer end, and you have to bid on whatever that tranche lot is. You don't get to pick your size, and then if you actually have size, if you want to do like a multi-million-dollar placement, you have to go create these SPVs. Like it seems so complicated.
Yeah. The it is, and then also because like the exposure I've had to it, basically, the price it's IPOing at, and the price of the shares in the private market. If you
There's
know
not much
both of
arbitrage
those,
anymore with the fees and the other things on top of it.
right, that system is very prone to insider trading since you have that
Mm,
information.
yeah,
And the people that operate in that space are very paranoid about that, which makes perfect sense. Because, like, how do you
that's why they make it
market a
so hard to get
return?
in.
How do you market a return where you you know what number it's opening at, and the price in the private market is obfuscated.
The
So,
issue
like,
is
you're
is a
giving
lockup
people
though. So if you do buy one of those, if you bought $1 million lot of SpaceX and you're hoping to, double it on day
right,
one, you have a 60 or 90-day lockup. Frankly,
right,
I think it's going to be much higher in that 60 days, but the first day is going to be absolutely nuts. I mean, I hear they're allocating 30% of the IPO to retail investors, which is like unheard of. There's just so much demand. I mean, that's going to be oversubscribed.
dude.
I'm going to be on Robinhood trying to get, some
Yeah,
shares, and I'm sure if I get lucky, if I get some, I hope, but everyone's going to want some.
dude. Elon Musk is so good at this. Like, his company
He's going to
valuations.
hype it so hard.
Yeah, dude. Like, who isn't going to like retail wise? Who is not going to want to buy that? You know, uh, yeah, because people have probably been wanting exposure to it, and its valuation
Exactly.
is crazy to me. But people might push it to 2.5 trillion before it even breaks 100 billion in revenue. I mean, that might happen.
I can see
Um,
it. I mean, just I don't know if I can go against the bidding in these private markets. I mean, some of the websites out there that offer it, I mean, it's already up over 150% just this year to date. So it's like, man, should you really chase it at, what happens if it doesn't price the way it is? Well, then, then you do have a, loss on paper even before the day it opens. So obviously
yeah,
there is some risk there, but I wanted to bring it up because it's very exciting and probably have a summer IPO on this. So I'm sure we'll get into it more once we get some more details, but they don't release anything until, a couple weeks in advance. So keep all our listeners
yeah,
and subscribers tuned.
yeah. It's going to be a banger of an IPO. There's um There's a lot going on with that. I feel like if the markets keep doing what they're doing, minus this day, it'd be a rough time to IPO, I would think. Potentially in June or
I feel like
July.
summer though, I mean, we're going to have some more clarity what's going on in the markets by then.
Yeah.
At least I would hope so. I mean, this forward can't last forever. At least I would hope it does not.
Yeah. I mean, from the US and Israel side, I just got a death toll update. This might interest people, like, because I'm keeping this feed up while we talk here. 15 people have been killed in Lebanon, right? Which is not Iran at all. 23 people have died in Israel. That's at least what they're reporting. And then 3,400 people died in Iran, with 1,600 of those being civilians.
Okay.
And 13 U.S. service members have been killed.
I'm surprised the numbers aren't even higher, to be honest, with how much bombing and stuff's going on over there.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at that, we're almost 250x, like at 250 to 1. We lose one person, we've killed 250 people. That's a really tough war for Iran. I think ground troops are going to change that number a lot, but they also have 93 million people. So, and they don't care about their people. So I don't know. You're kind of looking at a Kim Jong-un
I know, it's
situation in that
really
regard.
unfortunate. I heard they were going to send in like kids to form like loops around their facilities and stuff so they could, protect them with human shields. That stuff's really sad. And I know people were kind of pissed off that Trump was making, threats to disseminate them yesterday. But I mean, frankly, I kind of saw through it. It was a bluff positioning, trying to get to his end goal. So people on social media, I saw, were freaking out about it.
Do you know what he told them?
You have to be that serious though to get people to believe you. Like, if you're not fearless, why would anyone agree to what you have to offer?
Yeah. He was basically threatening them with like demobilizing your people. Yeah, so he was going to kill every bridge. So like their communities become isolated. You can't get food and water into them. And then he was going to blow up every desalination plant. So you can't even get water to them. And then basically let the nation turn into like
just
some people are surviving. So they're just killing each other just to survive because the government can't actually even get them aid, right? The strong end up becoming their own little. They were just going to, send them back to the Stone Ages, essentially, in that regard, to where they would lose the ability to exist without external help. And it would take years for that to be repaired, even if they conceded on all of their points. So, I mean, genuinely end it. It would send them back to Africa at times. Yeah, I mean, we've basically done that to Africa for a long time. We buy up the infrastructure and bar them from coordinating. There's a whole rabbit hole about that.
Let's stick on the war topic, but let's jump a little bit over to Palantir.
Before we get into the next topic, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. We bring content to you week over week from the market at Bullish and Beyond.
Hit that subscribe button now. Palantir, one of the companies I love talking about. Surprisingly, today it's actually down upon the news. And I think that people are assuming there's, not as much funding going to Palantir when the war is going to end. But I actually went on a deep dive on a podcast, the All In podcast, and they had a couple of the former top executives of Palantir that are now with Anduril, and the other guy, Palmer Luckey, who founded Oculus VR. So there was 3 main people that came over from Palantir, and this Lucky guy that started Anduril. But they actually had a lot of discussion on Palantir and how it actually got them to the point to make good decisions at Anduril, which actually makes a product. So Anduril is making drones and these like Fury, like remote drone ships and stuff like that.
Right.
Remote planes. And, the software that runs some of this stuff is Palantir. And, some people have been really concerned about Palantir being this company that's holding all this data. And could the US use Palantir to like turn against the country with surveillance? And they said hard stop, no. That is not how it works. And people have a completely warped opinion of it. And if they actually saw how it worked, they would have a better understanding. The easiest way to give an analogy to explain it, they said it's kind of like Excel, with each cell having an insane amount of security and locks. Each cell is basically unbreakable from a security standpoint, but the product that they give the government or the company is like an Excel sheet. So Microsoft does not see the data when you're running your hedge fund, you're putting all your numbers in your Excel sheet. Microsoft doesn't get that data. We know they don't. We would have come out by now. And Palantir, in the same vein, has no access to data. It's 100% on the company or the government that runs it. They do have, however, some security things in place that it cannot be used for like illegal means, and there's some tap back system that they get notifications, and then they can alert the inspector generals of the, Department of War or Department of Housing, whatever that might be. But so they said so they made it clear there is security breach information that they can collect, but on a normal basis they have 0.0 access to that data. So it was just really interesting to hear kind of how it like worked in the background, and that it's actually helping national security and security of all these companies. They said they wanted a way to have the data housed in a secure way, and they were the first people to do it at that scale.
That's interesting. I think it doesn't fully answer the question, unless I'm misunderstanding you, because although the U.S. couldn't use data that another user created through their use case. So like if, let's just say, China was using Palantir for surveillance, the United States would not get access to that instance of Palantir. But the United States could still use Palantir for surveillance. It's just Palantir wouldn't be able to see what they're doing. And then they also wouldn't get any help from Palantir doing it, as long as they pay their subscription fee.
I think that's a fair point. Like Palantir is not like enabling it. They're not controlling it. So yes, if there is anything like that going on, they're not helping them, in that effort.
But the United States could still, as a user, decide.
So on the podcast, the host kind of like said something just like that. Like, well, how do we know? And he's like, the government's been doing surveillance for years. This is not a Palantir thing. Like they've been tapping, phones and stuff like that, satellites. This is not like a unknown thing. Yeah. So in theory, maybe Palantir enables them to be better at that, but they'd find some other form of software or whatever, to do it on their own. They've been doing it already long before tech was almost even around.
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, that is hard to be bullish about. That's hard to be bullish about. It is. Us getting closer to Europe is scary.
And they were, they were asking the Palantir founders if they were like pro-war, because obviously that's one of the main use cases. And they said absolutely not. War is not good for any country in general, or the people that are going to die because of it. But they do think it's a necessary thing for our country to have these capabilities as a deterrent for future war, and that people that are hating on them for giving that power, well, if we do not have that power and presence, well, then we're just a sitting duck for countries like China, that we know China's mandate is to rule the world and to knock off the US. Like I've heard crazy stuff that they're sending into our country lately. Like they're sending in all these viruses to kill our crops and to send ticks to farms that have diseases. Like there's just like crazy stuff they're trying to do to hurt the US. And I can't this is like I've seen on reels. This is not verifiable evidence or anything. But we need to have these protections against countries like that. So I support what Palantir is doing. Not every company does everything perfect. I mean, but they're great at what they do. And the fact that they've created this software that's, so intense in its security, I do like that.
Yeah. And on those comments, I wouldn't put it past them. Coronavirus, right? China, Trump, right? It came from China.
I mean, that is verified. That is verified.
The Wuhan, whatever.
And I think they've admitted to it.
Yeah. And then also fentanyl. Over 90% of the fentanyl is manufactured in China. God. So, I mean, we've been in this.
Even gets in. We have so much technology. Can't they freaking X-ray these ships and find it first? Like, it's crazy.
They're just going to locate the ship and blow them to holy hell now, which I'm all for.
I'm fine with that. If you are drug running things that are going to kill 10,000 U.S. citizens, frankly, done.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the Mexican. Oh man, not the prime minister, but someone in her staff, basically suggests, because she can't come out and say what had happened, but that the cartel has a kill order on anyone dealing fentanyl to stop this aggression. So, like, if anyone inside of the cartel or all these different little pockets of them were to even think about dealing with fentanyl, they will take care of their own, kind of a deal. And that's like what they. So like that has become.
But
they're not done.
like cocaine's still fine, but that
they're bringing the coke, just no fentanyl in the coke, right?
Got it.
Yeah,
got it.
yeah.
Okay.
If you're putting fentanyl in the coke, they have a problem with you. But if
so
you're
the
not doing that,
other substances are okay. Just to clarify.
yeah, I don't think Trump cares if it's coke or fent or whatever. He's blowing you up, so they still have that to worry about. Yeah, but
yeah,
the fact that the president-elect in Venezuela, which is a pretty big country in that trade, one of the many reasons why we took Maduro, uh, is basically completely. He's basically like, make me the 51st state. Like, loves Trump, loves the United States. Venezuela is embracing this change and how we're not getting that involved down there. Like, it's not like we have thousands of government officials that are taking over all of their, departments.
I haven't heard anything about that recently. I mean, it's not making the news with the Iran war going on. I mean, do we even have troops in place? Like, is that even people on the ground there?
The last update I got, no. Like everyone's basically been pulled out. We took our oil. We have like agreements with that government, and they're doing their own election. The people are actually getting a fair election, selecting who they want. And the person that they are, not grooming, but I guess selecting for president, has a great relationship with Trump, which is probably why he's winning anyways. Trump commented on it saying that he could be president in Venezuela. They love what they're doing down there. So unfortunately, and I doubt NBC
if I was an up and coming world leader, I probably would align with him. It seems like that relationship could go a long way.
Yeah. And it's great for us in terms of resources with oil and Venezuela's production too. Gives us a further reach south, and it also kind of Mexico, who has played games with the cartels, like let them do what they've done for 30 plus years. They might get a little nervous when we have an ally to their southern border as well. They might play ball more. So it shifts up the global stage a little bit, puts us ahead. It's interesting what's going on there. It all affects oil prices, which is important for energy and all the other things.
What's going to happen, you think? I mean, one of these things we just talked about pre-podcast was that now to go to the Strait of Hormuz, you're going to have to pay a toll in crypto at the dollar per barrel, and the average tanker has 500,000 to 2 million barrels. So I'm talking 500,000 to 2 million of Bitcoin, ETH, Solana. Apparently they're agnostic, and I don't know if you have any idea how that's going to affect the coin market. They're up a lot today. That could be a long-term thing? I mean, governments that don't even have Bitcoin are going to have to go out and buy it just to give it back to Iran. I mean, that's going to create some interesting market action.
Yeah. So Iran is like, they are smart, y'all. They're not Iraq or Afghanistan. Okay. They have been mining Bitcoin this whole time because they've been in sanctions. They made up almost 5% of the network's hash rate, which is the third largest mine. It's the third largest in the world. It was bigger than Mara, right? So, and we bombed their electrical substations. Yeah, pretty interesting. I had a video on my YouTube about all this. Yeah, super interesting. So they have a lot of crypto, right? That's just their Bitcoin. They've been investing and using crypto for a long time because that's how safe it is. You can't even control it as the U.S. government. It's a way outside of the U.S. financial system.
No way to get sanctioned on crypto, as far as I've ever heard.
Right. They've been dealing with Russia in crypto this whole time. It's just a thing that these sanctioned countries have to do. They don't have an option, right?
Yeah.
And it's a part of crypto, and that's why I follow global macro stuff. The fact that that's happening, I think you will see, like you said, like a whole new type of buyer who is just trying to, get oil for their people. Like all these places that are out of oil. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen that Thailand literally has a fuel crisis.
Oh, yeah. Philippines as well.
Philippines, hundreds of thousands of people walking to work because there's no oil and fuel. And Australia is 2 weeks away from the same thing.
So, the average person can't afford it or whatever.
Right. In Australia, they've talked about rationing, and then they're completely out in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Right.
Wow.
So Japan's in the same boat 5 weeks from now,
which might be fine as of the Strait opening up last night. So like, this all a week from now might be a non-issue, but the crypto thing will still be in play. And because of that, oil
Huge
price
buy
is going to
pressure.
go up.
Yeah, full circle. That's huge buy
Because now it's
pressure
$1 per barrel more, so it's going to affect the, maybe it's a few cents a gallon.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a persistent increase to the oil price. Whatever the floor of oil is, it's now up at least $1, which is helpful to anyone that runs an oil business. And also, you have that many people on shortages already. The amount of demand and consistent buy
Oh my
pressure that'll
God.
be on the market
Just to
for
replenish that
20%.
demand, it could take, months.
We could do the math on it. 20% of oil supply through the strait. The oil business is almost 4 trillion a year. So you're talking, you know, 800 billion
800 billion.
in buy, and then, what's Iran going to do with that? I mean, that's an insane amount of wealth in crypto.
That is.
It could.
Wow.
I mean, if they get that in Bitcoin, I mean, they would
that's
get
a large amount of money. I mean, there's only a couple $1 trillion in total Bitcoin. If they happen to take 800 billion in the next year, I mean,
that would be the amount.
The price would have to go up significantly.
Yeah, well, that's the price. That's the amount that would come through. They get $1 for $800 billion worth, so they might make 5 or 6 or 7 billion a year in Bitcoin.
Oh yes,
appreciating on an average of 91.5% in 15 years. So they could be making a few hundred billion inside of a couple years and have like a prospering nation. I mean, it would be pretty wild.
Wow, that is crazy. I hope they do. I mean, with some good person in lead.
Right now,
and no uranium.
Right. The bad news is Israel doesn't want that at all, because their whole goal is to get the oil from the GCC, that whole region that ships it down the strait, to go through pipelines to the Mediterranean.
Okay.
And it's tactically for Europe and America, it is cheaper because it is quicker to get oil that way. But, that's why Asia and Australia gets hit from the strait. It's all south of the strait, right? The Mediterranean's closer for, more our purposes
it up
in
there.
Europe. Yeah, so Bibi wants that, and he wants the land that makes it possible, which is why he's bombing Lebanon, and that is the goal. They want to control the oil economics, and that's why they're doing all of this. It's part of the greater Israel project
Makes
that
sense.
they have.
Oil kind of runs the world. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, we're all now seeing how important that trade is. It runs the world, touches everything.
Another thing that runs the world are chips. And we've talked a lot about, NVIDIA and other chip makers here. Some really interesting news about Super Micro. And, they're a big part of the NVIDIA supply chain. Most of the chips that go into their server racks are NVIDIA chips. And the co-founder got caught recently with a massive smuggling ring. Have you heard about this?
I saw this. He was on a video with receipts, right? Like he was changing with his wife and like his colleagues. He was just like he was
changing
scanner.
the labels on all these.
That's what it was. Yeah,
different server racks. So they sold over $2.5 billion of fake servers to a company in China to smuggle in their NVIDIA chips into them. But apparently the co-founder went to like insane lengths. And there's three main people involved. Just to be clear, he's not at the company anymore. And we're going to get into why it might be a buy. So, he was sending these fake servers over to the other company in Asia, and then having like the casings like switched out with like the old labels, and then sending the real ones like onto China, and then having them inspected and like getting the sign offs. Like they did so much diligence to make sure that they like cover their tracks, but they still got caught. So just crazy. Like it wasn't like a benign thing. Like he just sold it to some random LLC that then just happened to send them to China. Like, no, he literally had a hand in like changing these things up, which is pretty wild. I mean, you're a co-founder of a multi-billion-dollar company. Like, sure, you might want to eke out a little more profit or like a little side hustle money, but come on, man. Like, what if you're worth hundreds of millions of dollars or billions? Like, what is the point? It's nuts. And like, you got to figure if how many people are looking at this stuff. It's like almost a matter of time until you get caught.
Yeah.
Wild.
I mean, dude, this could be a conspiracy. Go back to the reels and the TikToks. but China supposedly is the best at corporate espionage. And we had wide open borders for 4 years, wide open. For all we know, 10, 20, 50, 100,000, Chinese espionage agents or
Oh, I'm sure they're here.
Iranian cells, and like that
100%.
could be why would he do it? Maybe that's what his goal was all along. I don't know.
Could
It's
be.
kind of a
But
wild concept, but the world is a stage. We're all just, in the audience watching it.
Right.
World powers
So
is going at it.
I'm watching
Proxy
their price come
wars.
down. So I sold off almost my entire position, so I don't really have a big bag to hold on this right now.
Okay.
But the stock is at a 17 PE, which is literally unheard of for this high flying, AI infrastructure play. They're one of the number one go-to companies for servers. Nvidia and Dell have them as like their main like go-to partners on this stuff. So it's just crazy they've got knocked down that far. And the company itself is still profitable, making money. So it seems like there's a bounce back arbitrage play here. I haven't dove in or anything yet. This is not telling everyone to do it, but do your research, check it out. You will see this is the lowest PE it's been. Also Nvidia's lowest PE that it has been, or if not today, a couple days ago, whatever it was. But it seems like it's a long-term buy. I don't know if this market is going to go nuts in the next few weeks with the war. That ceasefire goes off, these things could tank another 10% overnight for sure. But long-term, if they're the go-to player in this space, they have a good moat. They have special liquid cooling technology on their servers. I mean, they're very high end at what they do, and they're in demand. So I think that there is a play here.
Yeah. I don't see them leaving that stage either. The
company's not going to get business because there was one random bad actor. I mean, there's all these investigations. There's an independent board member now that's doing investigation. There are 2 board members investigating it, and the CEO, he hasn't been exonerated yet, but he says that he didn't know about it, and this guy was just kind of acting off on his own, which could or could not be true. I have no idea. But if it all holds up, this guy's out of the company. If the bad actors are gone, I'd assume things would get back to normal in the next year or two. This thing's back to a 30 PE, and if the sales are up double and the PE doubles, I mean, you just quadrupled your money.
%.
So that's kind of what I was thinking.
That seems like a good opportunity, honestly. I feel like it's the same in crypto. There's all these fundamental things that are just crushing, like in Micron, right? And then news sentiment just has it oversold. I mean,
it's so oversold.
Yeah, legit, I don't know how to tell people, this is the most sure crypto has ever been. Iran is taking their toll in crypto. Iran. I mean, that means over 100 civilized countries are going to have to buy crypto to get their fucking oil. It's the most certain you could ever be. And yet we are down 80% in some of the things that even make that a reality. We have the SEC, the CFTC, we got tokenized stocks now. We got gold tokenized. There is almost 8 or 600 billion in real world assets. It is going up while price is going down. It's like, it feels too easy for me, kind of like it sounds like the Micron setup, everything you just said is true. Nothing has
seems
changed.
Like a no-brainer. We don't know when the sentiment's going to shift back to positive, though. I think that's the problem.
So, when to buy? That's dollar cost average in, perhaps.
No, I know. I actually finally just started doing some of that, and that was never my technique my whole life. But I set a couple reoccurring trades on my Robinhood account, so I'll share them here.
Yeah.
I have reoccurring silver buys, so I'm buying a little bit of silver every day, and also buying a little bit of this Robinhood venture fund that has 8 crazy pre-IPO companies in it, companies like Stripe and Databricks, and just really great plays on the AI infrastructure and stuff like that. So yeah, just trying to get in early and often.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we close it out, I have one more article from NBC as of 15 minutes ago.
What do we got? Should I check the
All
market?
right.
Are we more green or more red?
I don't know. Let's see. Iran has suspended traffic through the Strait of Hormuz. So as of right now, everything is halted because of Israeli strikes, which the Israeli made a statement about, saying it was the heaviest bombardment yet and more to come. Israeli officials and Trump stated that the current ceasefire does not apply to the ongoing strikes targeting Hezbollah in Lebanon, contradicting the key mediator from Pakistan.
And this is why the market does not have a good direction right now, because it's constantly like changing stories. I mean, one person says a ceasefire, one person doesn't,
Well, it is a ceasefire just between the U.S. and Iran.
I got it. No, that is real.
Yeah,
I understand that.
It's a little loop,
it's everyone
is what
else.
I'm saying. Yeah. They're just circumventing it already. It's not even a day old. So buckle up.
That's what I'm saying. Just uncertainty. I mean, when my friends are reaching out to me asking discounts. Like, what's going on with the stocks? We are in a volatile times, everyone. There is going to be way more big down days and way more big up days. And I think this year is honestly just going to be crazy volatility, which is good for traders and some of these algo traders and stuff like that. But not good for peace of mind and low heart rates for everyone else out there.
Right. Yeah, 100%. It's intense. It's exciting. And I'm thinking we're going to have more and more discounts coming up. I really do. But
pick up some stuff on discounts. I mean, you got Tesla, Super Micro, you got some RAM stocks on discount that are going to be, pinched here in the future. Lots of good potential trades here coming up.
Yeah. Everything in crypto.
I love it. All right. Stay active, stay alive, stay bullish, everyone. Cheers.
See you next week.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bulls. That's a wrap on today's episode of Bullish and Beyond. Remember, the market never sleeps, and neither should your ambitions. Whether it's stocks, crypto, or just leveling up in life, stay focused, stay bullish, and keep charging forward. Keep your energy high and your mindset bullish. This is Beery the Bull, your AI co-host, Brian the Macman, and JT Knows Things signing off. All content published by Bullish and Beyond LLC reflects personal opinions only and is provided for informational purposes. Please conduct your own research and discuss with your accountant and/or financial advisor before making any financial decisions. The information presented should not be taken as financial advice. We are not financial advisors. Nothing you hear, see, or read in our content should be considered as any form of financial, investment, or legal advice, or a solicitation to buy or sell any assets, or to make any financial decisions.